Hey guys, how's it going? Ricky Widmer here from Most Valuable Podcast, here to give you our NFL Power Rankings for week number 14 of the NFL season. We're getting closer to the end. Only 4 more weeks. It's all we've got. 4 more Power Rankings for you guys until we get to the playoffs. And if you're new to these videos, how it works is Mark Weber, Sean Anderson of the Fast Break Podcast, and myself come up with our own rankings. We give point values to each based on where the team's ranked. We add all 3 together. That gives us the rankings you are about to see. And let's get right into it. Starting from the bottom, 32 through 28. And at the very bottom, the Factory of Sadness, the Cleveland Browns. At 31, the San Diego Chargers, or should I say the LA Chargers? It's got a nice ring to it. Then at 30, the Dallas Cowboys. 29, the Baltimore Ravens. And at number 28, the St. Louis Rams. And I know what some of you may be thinking, but Ricky, how are the Cowboys over there? They won a game this week. The rest of these teams over here didn't win. Well, the last time I checked, Greg Hardy was still a member of the Dallas Cowboys. And if you've been watching these rankings, you know. But if you're new, I'll let you in on it. As long as Greg Hardy is on the Cowboys team, they're going to be 32 in my rankings. So that was only 1 point from me. Kind of hurt the Cowboys and why they're so low. But I mean, the rest of these teams, Browns losing to the Bengals, Chargers to the Broncos, Ravens lose to the game I didn't even watch when they lose to Miami, Rams losing to the Cardinals. But let's move on. 26 through 23. And we got a tie for 26 between the New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins. Then at 25, the Tennessee Titans. 24, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at number 23, the I want to say the Atlanta Falcons, but I can't say that because they haven't won a game since going 6-0. And we'll start with those Falcons falling in our rankings from 19 to 23 after their loss this past week. And this has been a team that has not really, to me, it's like you're losing all these games after this 6-0 start. We're like, man, we're going to have a battle for the NFC South. And then the Panthers just ran away with it. Panthers are 6-0 at this point, and the Falcons, I don't believe, have won a game. And it's just mad. And now everyone's thinking, well, is it Julio? Julio's not getting enough targets in the red zone. Is Matty Ice the problem? Kyle Shanahan may be gone when this season is over in Atlanta. Then the biggest controversy in these rankings is right there at 24-25. A lot of you are probably thinking about, Ricky, the Jaguars lost to the Titans. How are they ranked higher? To me, the Jaguars, did I have the Titans a little bit higher than the Jaguars? Probably. But to me, the Jaguars are an up-and-up team. Yes, they lost, but their last 2 games, they've shown fight. They've shown grit. And with the Titans, I mean, I want to see more of this Mariota performance and Dorial Green-Beckham performance. That's why you drafted these 2, right? To be what they were against the Jaguars this past week. Dolphins get the win, but they still suck. And the Saints are the Saints. They lost to the Panthers, and they probably were never going to beat the Panthers, let's be honest. But 22 through 18, not 20 through. We've got at 22, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 21, the Philadelphia Eagles. At 20, the Detroit Lions. At number 19, the Washington Redskins. And at number 18, the New York Football Giants. Now I want to start with the Lions on this one. I had them. They fell, but they didn't fall as much as Mark or Sean had them fall. The reason being is, in mine, they didn't lose that game. The refs stole that game from them, the Thursday nighter against the Packers. So to me, I was a little more forgiving of the Lions for that loss because they didn't lose it. The refs took it from them. And I know what you're saying, but Ricky, they still had that last play to kind of play. They still could have batted it down. Why wasn't Megatron in there? Why wasn't Ebron in there? The play should have never happened. It should have never happened. So that's why, for me, the Lions, I was more forgiving of them. The Niners get a nice win over the Bears. The Eagles, even a better win over the Patriots. However, DeMarco Murray not happy with Chip Kelly in Philadelphia. Redskins and Giants kind of, for me, I had all the NFC East teams under the 20 mark because that division just sucks. The NFC least is the NFC least for a reason, and the Redskins and Giants tied. But in our power rankings, the Giants just a little bit better than the Redskins. But let's move on. 17 through 13. We've got at 17, the Oakland Raiders, preceded by number 16, the Chicago Bears. 15, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 14, the Houston Texans. And at number 13, the Buffalo Bills. And the teams I want to talk about from this, the Bears. You lose to the Niners, like I mentioned. A lot of fans not happy with how much you let Blaine Gabbert run. Phil Bridges, who does the Fast Break podcast here on MVP, was texting me after the game, and he made a question. I made the joke of like, oh, fire John Fox, ha ha ha. And he even said, you know what, I'd be the first one to drive him to the airport. And I don't know if that was him overreacting. It was probably him overreacting to a loss and just being upset with the loss. But the one thing the Bears fans you got to think of is when it comes to John Fox, focus on year two. Forget year one, focus on year two. And I'm not saying that because, the Bears aren't doing good. They're not going to go anywhere. No, I'm saying that because the second year in a John Fox tenure is usually the year where the team just, boom, straight out of hell, and they go to the playoffs and then some. Raiders playing a tough Kansas City team. They'll get Denver this week, and the Bucks. Bucks look like a team that if the other teams above them weren't as good record-wise, we could be talking about them maybe making a playoff push. But let's move on. 12 through 9, and we got a tie for number 9. At number 12, we've got the Colts. Number 11, my Minnesota Vikings. And then tied for number 9, the New York Jets and the Green Bay Packers. And just like I said about the Lions, I'll say about the Packers, I didn't give the Packers that much credit for the win. I only had them moving up a few spots. Reason being, they didn't win that game. The refs gave them that game. Well, yeah, you could say, well, Aaron Rodgers won them the game on a Hail Mary, but they should have never had that Hail Mary. So I was like, you know what? You move up, but it's only a few spots. Then you got the Jets getting a nice win over the Giants. The Vikings, you laid an egg. This was the game against Seattle where fans like me put me to sleep, put my doubts to sleep. Coming into this game, I'm like, hey, we're not going to win because usually the games against playoff teams, we lose. They showed me that my doubts are real, that we can beat the teams we're supposed to beat, but we're in that kind of purgatory state to where we can beat the bottom feeders, but we can't beat the playoff contenders. We're just right there in the middle, even though our record says otherwise. And then the Colts just getting a hard loss against the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers are a great team. Wasn't a bad loss for the Colts. They'll get to bounce back this week against Jacksonville. Then let's look at 8 through 5 before we look at the top 4. Number 8, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs. At number 7, the Pittsburgh Steelers. At number 6, the Seattle Seahawks. And at number 5, the New England Patriots. And the Patriots, hey, I'd be hitting the panic button. Not only have you lost 2 straight, that's 1. Gronk is unsure that he'll be back. I mean, closer this week than last week. And Tom Brady has no one to throw to. Nobody to throw to. I don't think this team is going to get a first-round bye. I honestly think that. I think Denver and Cincinnati are going to run away with the first 2 spots. Then you have Seattle on a completely different side. Talk about 2 teams that are trending oppositely. The Seahawks are on the up and up. They're doing exactly what Mark said they would do in the offseason is kind of lull, okay, Super Bowl hangover, and then make a push. Okay, we're putting that finally behind us. Then you have the Steelers and the Chiefs, who are 2 dark horses. They are teams that could really make a run in the playoffs and both getting wins this past week. The Steelers getting a little bit of a better win because they did play the Colts, who I would say are a little bit tougher than the Raiders because they are a division champion at the moment. Then you have the top 4. At number 4, the Cincinnati Bengals. At number 3, the Denver Broncos. At number 2, the Arizona Cardinals. And at number 1, the Carolina Panthers. And just with the Panthers, I say this every time now, but I used to say it about the Patriots, now I'm going to say about the Panthers. As long as they win, they're number one in these rankings. Duh. But you can see at the top here the little bias of me and Mark. I don't know if it's because me and Mark, our favorite teams are in the NFC, but I know me and Mark are on the same side of it as, to me, the Panthers and the Cardinals are the best two teams in this league. They are the two where if you said, Ricky, pick two teams that are going to win the Super Bowl, I'd go Panthers and Cards. That's who I'd put my money on, one of those teams. Because, I mean, the Broncos, Bengals, Patriots, there's too much competition in the AFC. Not only do you have those three, the Steelers and Chiefs are tough. The Jets are tough. The Bills can be a tough team. I mean, I feel like there's a lot more tougher teams in the AFC than there are in the NFC, and that's why I feel like the Panthers and Cardinals are 1-2. Because I had them 1-2. I had this exact top four. Then you had Mark had the Cardinals second, Broncos third. Sean was the one that had the Broncos second and the Cardinals at number 3. But the Broncos and Bengals, they're in a few weeks. I want to say it's 2 weeks. We're going to get a matchup of Broncos, Bengals. So we'll finally get a winner, a for sure winner of who's going to get home field. But yeah, these 4 teams right now are the best 4 in the NFL for week 14. Well, that's going to do it for our NFL power rankings for week number 14. This is where you guys go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of our rankings. Who's too high? Who's too low? Where's your favorite team? And what do you feel about their spot? Where should they be ranked? Let us know down in the comment section below this video. Also, you can hit us up on Twitter. Our Twitter, Patreon, and Facebook are right up there. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that sub button. For the rest of December or the rest of the year, you could say, we're having a hashtag quest for 500. We're trying to get 500 subscribers by the end of the year. And if we do that, if we hit 500 by the end of the year, we're going to be giving away a free signed sports game of the winner's choice. However, to win, you got to click that subscribe button and you got to comment down below the 2 things you've got to do to be in the running for that game. I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. Check out all our other videos and podcasts here on Most Valuable Podcast. But as always, have a good day, everybody.